Carla Roman. I am from Palm Mortuary. I am one of the licensed funeral directors for Palm, and today I am here present to honor the Vaswani family with the Floragraph from the Rose Parade, this year's Rose Parade. We at Palm Mortuary were very privileged to service the Vaswani family.
All right, so what is this? What is a Floragraph? What is it?
Absolutely. So, Donate Life every year does a float in the Rose Parade.
Donate Life is?
Donate Life is one legacy, and they honor all the families that their loved ones have donated.
So that's Nevada Donor Network.
Nevada Donor Network.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
all right. So this year.
Yep. This year, the families that have donated were honored and were part of the float. Their Floragraph was part of that float that everyone saw. It was absolutely beautiful. All of the Floragraphs are made of natural elements, and today's the day that we get to honor the family with that Floragraph.
The Floragraph is not yet here, right?
It is. I'm
you just
ready
have to
display it. Right
okay. So, all right. I'm looking forward to that. So, Palm Mortuary, how do we get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So, palmmortuary.com is our website where you can see all of our locations throughout the valley. We have 10 locations throughout the valley, so it's wonderful if you visit. That's probably the easiest way to see which of our locations is closest to you. So that would be palmmortuary.com.
All right. I guess everybody will need you eventually.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay.
Hi there. My name is Samantha Savali. I am the Community Event Liaison for Nevada Donor Network. We are excited to have the Floragraph return ceremony for Mike Vaswani and his family today after taking them to the 2024 Rose Parade Donate Life Float with One Legacy. This was this year's float here for January for New Year's Day, and we were excited to honor Mike on one of the baskets as a Floragraph. The Floragraphs are made out of all organic materials, and so we are returning this Floragraph to the Vaswani family following taking it off the float from Rose Parade. It just came back to us.
Can we go check it out?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so look at this. Wow.
Yeah, so they use
what is it?
all sorts of organic materials, coffee grounds, seeds, grains. That is a requirement of the floats in order to be judged over Rose Parade is to be made of entirely organic materials.
Oh, nice. Oh, look at the ice.
Yeah.
Oh my
So you can see here, he was on one of the baskets with a couple other photographs, a couple other donor heroes that we recognize.
All right. And these are just the pictures of the family.
Yeah, from the events.
From the event. I see.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Over New Year's weekend in Pasadena.
In Pasadena. All right. Okay. Woo, that's nice. So, what are we doing tonight?
We are discussing the importance of organ, eye, and tissue donation. We have a shared mission with Palm Mortuaries and Cemeteries to honor a donor hero from Southern Nevada and share that mission if they were able to be a donor.
Okay, so I invite them to donate.
Yes, so you will visit nvdonor.org to get registered to be a hero.
Yeah, so remind us, let's say a person donates, does organ donation, how many persons can he help? Or how many parts of the body can he help?
Yep. So one organ donor can save up to 9 lives with various organs. If you are a tissue donor, you can heal up to 75 lives. Someone may need an ACL repair, skin grafts, or tissue. And then an ocular donor can give the sight to 1 through cornea transplant.
Are these donations like safe?
Of course they are highly regulated here in the community.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, let's say the ACL, a torn ACL, that'll be so useful.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
People do not think about some minor surgeries they receive that could be donor tissue.
Yeah, and of course the most famous is like for the eyes, the cornea.
Yes. So, yes, you can recover the cornea and give the gift of sight to another person.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam.
You're
We'll see
welcome.
more of you later.
Sounds
Bye.
good. Thanks, Vicky.
Sam is from Nevada Donor Network. Those are the people you really have to contact and know so that you can make your organ donation. Yeah, so organ donation saves lives. Like Mike Vaswani, he donated his organs and his brain tissue for the study of Alzheimer. So isn't that great?
Mike was a tissue and ocular donor.
Tissue and ocular donor. Wow. All right. So no matter how old you are, huh? I guess.
We encourage everybody to be registered no matter what age they are. You would be surprised a majority of donors are in their 50s and 60s, and it's an individual evaluation if it comes to those circumstances. So with medicine advancing, we encourage everybody to still be registered.
That is true. All right. Thank you so much. See you later.
See you later.
Very good evening. I'm Harry Singh, brother-in-law to Mike Vaswani. Today is an event which is a small kind of a gathering organized by Nevada Donors Network and the Palm Mortuary in remembrance of Floragraph, which was displayed in Pasadena parade, Rose Parade, and it was in remarkable feelings that he's been there as one amongst other donors on float. And for me, being a part of the family and took care of those decisions in donating his organs, which has been now I understand as many other families has been benefited out of it. And we believe into it. He's leaving a legacy. He is still living in, and he will keep living in. So this is a very heartwarming episode today. It's very touching, and I'd certainly like to see that more and more voices are raised, created, and communicated to the community to engage in donating the organs. Come forward. God bless you all. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Selena DeLulo with Palm Mortuaries and Cemeteries, and we're here tonight to celebrate Mike Vaswani. We have the return of his Floragraph that was on the float that rode in the Tournament of Roses Parade, because Mike Vaswani was one that donated life. And we want to encourage everyone to think about being a donor. We have such a strong partnership with Nevada Donor Network. We believe and invest in that organization, and we know that Rita is very passionate about that as well. So we're so grateful to be here tonight, and we are just honored to honor Mike.
Okay. So what has Palm's Mortuary done in this organ donation?
Yeah, absolutely. So in this particular case, we served the Vaswani family and celebrated services at one of our locations for Mike. But then we also were able to sponsor and take the Vaswani family along with Nevada Donor Network to the Tournament of Roses Parade.
All right, so thank you so much. So everybody's gonna need you in the future. That's where we are all going. Thank you, Miss Selena.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Hi, my name is Joe Ferrer, and I'm the president and CEO of the Nevada Donor Network. And tonight we're here to honor Mike Vaswani, who was a hero. He was a heroic organ, tissue, and eye donor, and he elected to save others through his gifts upon his passing, which is what we encourage everybody to do. And if you'd like to do that and make your wishes known, please go to www.nvdonor.org and make your wishes known and be a hero to try to save a life.
Hi, I'm Shelley Berkeley, former Congresswoman for the city of Las Vegas. I am delighted to be here for this very special occasion. First, we're here to honor Mike Vaswani, who is a legend in this community, and I loved him dearly. Next, we are here to support the Nevada Donor Network. This organization, which I have been a board member of for several years. Its mission is to bring a transplant center to the city of Las Vegas. So very important for people that need organs or skin or corneas in order to see or stay alive. And the connection between Mike and the Nevada Donor Network is when Mike passed, in his usual selfless way, he donated all of his organs to people that were total strangers whose lives he saved by that extraordinary donation. That to me is not only humbling, but it's godlike to save another person's life, and he actually saved many lives by his selfless act at the end of his life. So it gives me tremendous pride to be here, and as you can tell, there are so many people here to do exactly what I'm doing, pay tribute to Mike Vaswani and to support the Nevada Donor Network.
Hi, I'm Stephen Peralta, Foundation President for the Nevada Donor Network. And what a great honor it is to celebrate the return of Mike Vaswani's Floragraph ceremony this evening. You know, it's very remarkable just to see the strength and inspiration that we all feel from the Vaswani family. But I would like to thank Rita and the entire Vaswani family for inspiring the community to get behind Donate Life. And tonight's celebration is to welcome Mike's Floragraph back home, where the heart is, where the soul is. But thank you, Rita and Harry, for being vulnerable and for being inspiring at the same time. God bless.
Hey, Dennis Rucker. Mike was my brother, and I miss him dearly. I can't believe it's been so many years since he's gone, but it just feels like yesterday. And he's taught me so much. We've been together for many, many years, and I love him, and I love Rita very dearly, and just miss him very much.
Invite people to donate organs?
Yes, very, and if you guys, Mike gave everything he had to the very end, so I would recommend and ask everybody to donate your organs. Make sure you sign up today.
Hello, I'm Judge Frank Sullivan. I'm a senior judge down at the Family Court and a professor at the law school, UNLV. Me and Mike go way back to when Mike was starting the Asian American group, getting the Asian group involved in the politics, and he kind of helped me through my elections to be elected judge on that. And we were best buddies on that with all the facilities we had and all the events he had. He really was the ringleader to really bring the Asian community together and to exercise their power in the community and hold us political candidates accountable for our decisions and actions on that. But most of all, he's a good friend. I love Mike. We loved him. He was my best buddy on that, and I miss him very much with Mikey. And you don't get anyone better than Mike Vaswani. He did everything for his people, not for himself, but for his community and for the court. And I love him. I think about him every day.
And giving, I must tell, and I tell everybody, is addictive. Why it is addictive is that giving gives us a form of happiness which is associated with serotonin. If you talk to somebody in the medical community, they would know that there are two chemicals in our brain, dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine is very short-lived, and you get a rush of dopamine when you get something for yourself, when you buy something, when you get a big accomplishment. You get that happiness because of dopamine. Dopamine is very short-living, and it actually perishes away very fast and then pushes you to get more of it. Whereas the happiness that comes from giving and doing something for others comes from the chemical which is serotonin. Serotonin has a very long half-life as compared to dopamine, and it gives you a happiness which is addictive. And that's why people who get into the habit of giving, they never stop. Thank you very much.
So, without any delay here, I'd like to call on the President CEO of Nevada Donor Network. Thank you. This is Joe Ferreira.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate the warm welcome. We are so happy to be here to honor Mike, a champion of our cause. And I was lucky enough to meet him for several years before he passed. And his giving spirit and the power of Rita and Mike is just, it's hard to even describe. And so the fact that they've embraced organ, tissue, and eye donation in the state of Nevada is really an honor to us because of their reach in the community. And the fact that they're able to assemble all of you, and Mike was able to do that when he was here, is just an honor for us to come and let him know that we still think about him, we honor him, and donor families in organ, tissue, and eye donation give so much. And the donors themselves are heroes in our eyes. And there's seldom a chance for us to give something back. And we're also grateful that we were able to give to Mike and Rita by honoring him at the Rose Parade, which is seen by millions of people around the world. And Mike's face was on that float. And for us to be able to do that for Mike and Rita and the entire Nevada community just means the world to us. And we thank you all for supporting our cause. If you're not registered to be an organ, eye, or tissue donor, please do it for Mike and his legacy. And tell all your friends, because it does save lives. And the reach of organ, tissue, and eye donation is hard to even describe. Thousands of people, millions of people have benefited from it. And so please think about it. Think about Mike, honor his legacy, and make that choice, because it does save and heal lives. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you for being a part of this special ceremony.
The last 2 days when Mike was alive, we saw him alive. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Good evening, everyone, and distinguished guests. What an honor it is to be a part of the Nevada Donor Network that saves and heals lives every single day. And Rita and Mike for being a champion of organ, ocular, and tissue donation. One registered organ donor can save and heal up to 70 plus lives. That one decision has made a difference for generations to come. I remember traveling to San Diego in 2022 to the transplant games. And I was going over there to meet Joe and the rest of the team. And before I went there, Rita said, "Stephen, I think it's time. Can you come over to the house and see Mike?" And lo and behold, 2 days later, Mike had passed. And so receiving that call, being able to see Mike, getting that call as well from Harry, to be a part of this family. You are our family, Rita. And as the Golden Knights say, community is a contact sport. This is what the Vaswani family does each and every day. So just a little bit about the Rose Parade, as Joe alluded to. Nevada Donor Network participates in the Rose Parade Tournament of Champions every single year with our gracious partners, Palm Mortuary, Selena. Thank you so much for making this event possible with us and for the families. When we had an opportunity to be a part of this float, the families attend and spend about 4 to 5 days decorating the floats. So when you see these magnificent, beautiful Rose Parade structures, Mike's face was on there for millions to see. And being able to be a part of that float, to touch that float, to have Rita and her children and her grandchildren to be a part of that float truly means the world to us Nevadans. You know, we ran this mantra for several years about we are proud Nevadans. And that's what we are here to do every single day for organ donation. So Rita, on behalf of Nevada Donor Network and our entire board, you have breathed life into our cause, and you continue to do that. But before I end, you know, we have champions like Shelley that continue to strive and advocate for what we do. Carol Jimerson was an honoree a couple of years ago, and their beloved son was also part of the Floragraph. And being able to see the families through that healing process, it was a time to cry, it was a time to laugh, it was a time to celebrate, but you inspire us. You inspire us in your strength. So again, on behalf of our team and the whole entire community, Rita, we welcome back Mike's Floragraph back to Nevada.
Was just beyond words. I couldn't explain what they did and how they did. I don't know how she accommodated 600 people in that room, and she had to turn people away. Selena, thank you. Please say a few words.
Absolutely. So it was a huge honor to be able to serve the Vaswani family. As Rita's daughter always says, you know, once you're in the circle, Selena, it's hard to get out. And I am so grateful that we are a part of that. As funeral directors, we don't necessarily like to stand up and talk about what we do, but it's been just such a blessing being a part of serving your family and to be able to have attended and be a part of the Tournament of Rose Parade with your family. It just means so much to every single one of us that has helped you. And our partnership with Nevada Donor Network has been strong for a very long time. We support that organization. If you're not an organ donor, please do so. And if you're considering supporting Nevada Donor Network, you should. We do. We have a huge partnership with them, and we plan to continue to go to the Tournament of Roses Parade with them every year to honor someone. So thank you, everyone.
Everybody, it's a pleasure to be with you again tonight. I love Rita Vaswani, and when she invited me to come, I rearranged a few things in my schedule because I knew this was important, and important for two reasons. The first reason is to pay tribute to Mike Vaswani. I did know him for decades, and he was not only a good friend, but a very important political mentor. And I miss him to this day, and know that if he were here, he'd be here with us tonight, as he always was. So this is my way of remembering Mike and thanking him in my own personal way for the extraordinary efforts he made on behalf of this entire community. The other reason I'm here is because of the Nevada Donor Network and the extraordinary work that the Donor Network does. I am a donor, or I will be a donor, and I take the whole shebang, you know. When I'm done, you can have it all, and I hope that it does good for so many people. I don't need the organs anymore, so somebody that needs it, that's gonna be life-sustaining, that's immortality to me. That is being as close to God as you can come. And then there's the nexus between the remarkable work that the Nevada Donor Network does and Mike Vaswani, because we all know that in his waning days, he donated much of his body to people that were in desperate need of the organs that he provided. And I know that he ultimately saved the lives of thousands of people by that selfless act. And of all the things that Mike did in his lifetime, that is the one thing that I will never forget and will always honor him for. He saved the lives of thousands of people that he never met, didn't know, and they never knew him, but they knew him, and they know him now. So I thank you, Rita, for giving me the honor of saying a few words tonight, and I thank all of you for being here, and I'd like to echo what has been said before. If you haven't signed up to be a donor, go down to the DMV and change your driver's license. And I have said this on many occasions, it's so true. I went down there when I was changing my license. It only took about 8 hours of my day, but I got it done. And I've never been so happy about spending that amount of time, because I know that in my heart, I know that by me doing that, other people will be able to continue to live. How special is that? And Palm Mortuary, I love you dearly. I always say either my family is breathing or they're in Palm Mortuary. There's nothing else for us. But I thank you for everything you've done for my family too. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Rita. Love you.
Now I'd like to call on Harry Singh. Everybody knows my brother here.
He's giving me a difficult time. How do I start? Very difficult moment on that evening when Mike was just gone. And I was fortunate enough to hold his hands at that time when he was taking his last breath. And the most difficult challenge came to me when we were all sitting in the house, and obviously she was very much disturbed. And the decision came in to just check his documents. Picked up his driving license. I saw that there is an organ donation. Sign is there. Heart. We immediately started talking about it, what to do next. She put me onto a dial by saying, take the decision. And that decision, which took almost 6 to 7 hours till 3 o'clock in the morning, and my final yes is what Mike is today here. I can say I'm very proud I took that decision by saying it, let's donate his organs, let's help others. So today I'm very strong voice, I use this in public also, that Mike may be physically gone, but he's still alive. So every time when Rita talked to me to taking a legacy forward, so this is one of a legacy which I talk about to the world. Donate your organs. It helps people. I've been using a one statement many times before as well, but now I'm going to use it one more time. Somebody taught me by saying it, we came from dust, we'll become dust. Everyone speaks the word by saying it, rest in peace. Why can't we live in peace? And this is one of a service which we are doing it by donating organs. It means we are making a lot of lives live in peace. These are my words by saying it, let's come forward, voice it out. Let's talk to people. One can speak to 10 others and 10 can speak to another 10 by saying it's important. Why, even though we have got millions of people living and still we have got a shortage and where people are still waiting in line to have an organ? Let's move up, let's talk, let's communicate, let's share the views and say it, this is important. Thank you.
Mike passed away on July 31, 2022. So it's almost going to be 2 years. But before he passed away, he already knew that time was coming. Unfortunately, Alzheimer's doesn't tell you the time. But prior to being a dementia patient for 3 years, he had to go through a lot of difficult times. And it was very difficult for us to understand. But knowing a few doctors that have helped me through here, one of them is Dr. Benito Calderon. Doctor, can you stand up, please? He's Mike's, our personal primary care doctor. He used to visit Mike almost every other day just to make sure he was okay, check him out, and this thing and that thing. Then the other doctor is Dr. Upinder Singh, and I don't think he's here yet, but he should be here very soon. So at that time, Mike said, give all my organs, give everything. Let's do it. Because that time I was already volunteering for Nevada Donor Network, and he says, I think it's time to do that. We should give, because if humans don't give, who else will do it? Only human being can help another human being. So to me, that's what it's all about. That's why we're here, to talk about giving. Giving, when you are not around to know anything, you have been a giver yourself, like us. And we did not expect all of this to take place. We were so surprised that by the way, our float won the day, right? The best float for the day, for the Rose Parade. So now thank you, because you guys put in a lot of effort and money towards that float. So it made the judges' choice. They won. And it was like seeing Mike's photo everywhere. And this was posted on this one here. He's right here. So you can't see it. So anyway, we have a lot of VIPs here tonight, so let's move on to a nicer part here. I'd like to special mention Jim and Jimerson, Carol Jimerson are here. Please stand up. The attorney. They are the VIPs tonight. They have, if you have not heard of it, when Stephen mentioned, their son's heart went to another person that she has met him, right? And she goes to listen to that heart. That's her baby's heart. So, talk about giving your own son's heart to someone else. That's painful. That's really painful. But they're strong, they're here, and they believe on the cause. That's why they're here. Thank you so much, Carol and James, for being here. I'd like to also call on one of our VIPs, John Waldron, President and CEO of the Center. But he's also the president of the FBI chapter of Las Vegas. Please stand up. And he's here with Richard. Richard, come on, Whistler. Mr. Whistler, he's the VP of the FBI group. And the reason that I brought that up too, because if you see, Mike was honored all the way to Washington, D.C. in 2009. He received the Director's Award for the first time. And Dr. Calderon, you were with us that time, I remember. Thank you so much, and I think that made him so happy. 2009, he was already an FBI alumni. He gave, and he joined every group. And then, of course, the political side, I'm gonna call on our very, very good friend that's on this photo here. Attorney Jack Wan, will you please come here? You see this picture? That's him. Him and Mike used to go on a weekly breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning. Mike would rush out and say, I cannot make him wait. And because of this guy, Mike learned all about politics. That's why all these judges, elections and all these things is taught by this guy. Jack, please.
Well, needless to say, Mike's influence is more than just through our acts. His influence is beyond the state of Nevada, as I found out by accident. When I was in Arizona, I happened to just flip out a picture on my phone, Mike, and the stewardess of all people said, "Hello, are you with the Asian American group?" I said, "I am." They go, "I was there for an event which was at our awards night." And that just gave an example of Mike's influence, which is just not beyond our name, but also through all of us. And Mike, I love Mike. I can't say enough about him. I have so many funny stories. One involves a turkey where we couldn't get enough turkeys, and he had the idea of us renting a turkey farm and raise turkeys. And I was thinking in my head, I can only imagine, I mean, we're feeding turkeys, we're grabbing turkeys, we're running turkeys. I said, Mike, that's a bad idea, it's very bad. And then the next thing came out of his mouth was, well, how we could deal with the elected officials. I'm like, okay, that we can talk about. But the moral of the story is, the reason why we're able to see each other here on a regular basis before and now in the future is also because of Mike's influence, carried on by everybody here, Rita and Harry. And for that, I'm very grateful. Thank you.
She's the president of the African Chamber of Commerce. Dr. Shahid Shah, please stand up. And the kidney specialist here and also with UMC. Dr. Benito Calderon is here. Now, I'm going to call on, where is Judge Adriana Escobar and Judge Frank Sullivan.
Let beauty before age.
All right, it's not very long, but I just want to make sure I don't forget anything. So it's wonderful to be here with you. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor. All of us here know about all of the wonderful things that Mike Vaswani did, and his legacy lives forever, and I'm sure that it will. But I just wanted to give a couple of highlights of my experience with him. These are the words that come to mind when I think of Mike. Kindness, humility, caring for others, intelligence, dedication, strength, vision, and a loving force. And that he was, with Rita at his side. I met Mike just after I was appointed by Governor Sandoval to the bench. And this was a very important meeting because I understood that if he could help me, it would be very important. But it was much more than that. He committed to helping me, and Rita too, and it opened a world for me that I had never been. I had never seen so many different people from so many different places and cultures, and it was really beautiful. And it allowed me to become friends with them and to grow, and it was just a fantastic experience. And everybody, this loving force that he showed was included in this. He came here with Rita as immigrants, and so did I. And many of us come to make our families have a better future. But they did so much more than that. He did so much more than that. He lived a life of service and of giving and of love. And it's just incredible what he was able to achieve. Not only in his life, but as we are here celebrating him, after he's gone, he's given life to others. And I just want to thank you so much for letting me speak those words. And for me, it was a life-changing experience and a friendship that will remain forever, and gratitude and a love for him and for Rita that I can't explain. It's just a wonderful thing. I'm not talking as an attorney, as a judge right now. I'm talking as a friend and someone who's feeling. So it's a very different thing that I would normally say. Thank you, Rita, very much for including me.
This is what Mike would have given you. Yes. What does it say?
Thank you so much.
Judge's night out.
I could tell she was around, right?
Thank
Harry,
you
I need
very
a
much.
picture, please.
Harry, I was supposed
Dennis.
to go, but I was at home with. Thank you. I had no idea. I'm honored. I'm absolutely honored.
Okay, eyes here.
surprised.
1, 2, 3. One more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this honor.
Frank, your turn.
Well, thank everybody. I was thinking about, when you said about Shelley on there, we go about 28, 30 years ago on that. Shelley's aged a lot better than I have, obviously, on that, but we go way back. I remember first meeting Mike on that. He's talking about putting together the Asian community. And he said, there's a growing on that. We need to get a voice in that. So we kind of talked about it. And the best thing with Mike on that, what I really value from Mike was his friendship, of course, number one. But when he talked about the Asian American group, if he was behind you if he believed in you, he's 100% behind you. He did whatever he did to get you elected. But the good side, not only did make us political officials listen to the community, here with our Asian community, our entire community, to say, hold us accountable. And that was a good on that, because he called you the carpet. You got elected, you were a public servant, and he expected you to perform that way. So remember Mike on that, and I'm kind of worried on that when they talk about, Jack was talking about the turkey farm. Maybe you should have sent all the judges to the turkey farm, and all the politicians would have came out a little bit better on that, cured two things on that. But I remember afterwards, Mike and Rita opening their hearts and their house, right, to all the events on that, and Mike was always very humble. Everybody knows Mike, he was always in the background. He put all the events together, you couldn't find him on that, he'd be hiding in the background on that, not wanting any acknowledgement. And I think the value of someone's legacy is not what you acquire, not the wealth you acquire, not the property, but the lives you've impacted. And you see all the lives he's impacted in here, and the lives he's impacted throughout this community, and he's still doing it with his organs on that. I think he said, what, 70 people are affected by that, so he still impacts the people on that. And I saw Mike, I thought that was great, because I always remember Mike with that smile. He always had the same way that the eyes would fight with a little smile on that. And he was always great. I remember sitting there, I think he liked the, was it the green label scotch? Am I supposed to say that? Yeah. We sit there after that with the blue label. Yeah, I'm colorblind, so the blue label scotch on it. After the event, we sit there, have a few scotch, and figure out how we're going to solve the world problems on that. But I love Mike, and the most important thing, I got to call him a friend. He called me a friend. They took me into their hearts, and I think about Mike every day on that. He'll live on forever, and the impact he has on will live on for generations to come, and I'm honored to have been invited here, so thank you. All right, I'm a law professor over there at UNLV, teach domestic violence in the law and the MBA, and I play senior judge, going to honors. I'm doing some domestic, Mr. Jimerson, so maybe I'll have the honor to have you in court to yell at me like you used to do in the old days too, so hopefully it's kind of great to see the Jimersons, everybody, so thank you for the invite.
We have also.
Took him as an adopted son.
Rupi
I know
Chima.
he can tell you what he went through.
Hi everyone, my name is Rupi. My official name is Mike Vaswani's adopted son. I am not a professional speaker, so please forgive me. The other day, I was with a couple people that knew Uncle Mike pretty well, and we were talking about Uncle Mike, and it was really funny because we were like, how did Uncle Mike have so much like charisma or power? He didn't look like Brad Pitt. He didn't speak like Obama, and he, in fact, every fifth word was the F-bomb, if you really knew him, right? So we were like, what did this man have that like just kind of commanded so much respect and / power? And it was really simple. When you sit with him, you would feel like you know him all your life. He would ask you questions and he made your problems his problems. So it's very hard to find people like that in this world. I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. I used to have breakfast with him twice a week for about 10 years. And Uncle Mike is hilarious. And I don't think people understand. Usually when I've asked to speak a couple of times, I always like to tell a story. I try not to tell the same stories, right? And one thing, I knew he loved me because he used to always yell at me. And when you're in your 30s and 40s, you know, I'm almost 50 by the way, so I'm still not a kid, but I'll always be a kid, I guess. But when you're in your 30s and 40s and you get yelled at, it's kind of weird because you have your kids, you're taking care of your elderly parents, you have 100 employees working for you, so you're not used to being yelled at. And he would yell at me all the time. Anyways, one time he invites me to lunch, and a mutual friend shows up, okay? And then Uncle Mike gets up and goes to the bathroom. And this mutual friend of ours, who remains nameless, whispers to me, he goes, I'm gonna ask Uncle Mike if I can borrow some money. I'm like, what? Don't do it. Please don't do it. Okay, Uncle Mike comes back, sits down, and next you know, this mutual friend of ours proceeds to ask Uncle Mike for money. Uncle Mike, of course, defaulted. I have to ask Rita. She's the boss. The guy leaves, and Uncle Mike goes, you set me up! What do you mean I set you up? And then he goes, you knew this was gonna happen, that's why you had me come. I go, Uncle, did you invite me to lunch, or did I invite you? He goes, I invited you. I'm like, well, you invited me, I didn't know he was coming, how did I set you up? You still set me up! So and at least at every event, especially the bigger ones, he'd always kick somebody out. He would kick somebody out because they didn't buy a ticket. And of course, then he'd come running to me, he goes, what was your friend doing? I threw him out. And I would say, Uncle, I don't know that person. I never met them in my entire life. No, he's your friend, you snuck him in, and I threw him out. So eventually I realized, I'm not even gonna argue, I'm just gonna do this, put my head down. Eventually, I don't want to kind of turn this into, the negative, but eventually got to the point where Uncle Mike could recognize me. And we still did our events, and I would sit next to him because he felt comfortable. And he would sit next to me and he goes, do I know you? I go, yeah, you know me. And he's like, I kind of like you. And I would look over and I would say, you're okay. And he'd be like, just okay? So, with a nutshell, I truly deeply miss him. And I just so glad that we are all here to keep his legacy going. It means a lot to me, definitely means a lot to Harry and I should say Aunt Rita and Harry. Thank you for being here and thank you for letting me speak.
CSN, Ruben.
Ruben Kiguan.
There's nothing like walking in and being called up to the stage, right? First of all, let's all of us give a big round of applause to Rita, to Harry, and to everybody who's here. If you look around this room, it's a testament of who Mike Vaswani was and still is in our community. I literally walked in through that door right now, and I see judges, I see politicians, I see lawyers, I see entrepreneurs, I see folks who make a difference in this community. And I look around and I know that a lot of you, especially those of you who are in elected office, are partially in elected office because of Mike Vaswani. And if your story is similar to mine, back in 2006, I decided to run for the state assembly. I was 25 years old. I had lost my mind and decided that I wanted to run for office instead of going and making money, which in retrospect, I should have made money first, right? And then ran for office. But I remember people telling me that one of the first people you need to talk to for support is Mike Vaswani. Now, I had never heard of him. I had heard of Rita Vaswani, but I had never heard of Mike. And it was through our mutual friend, James Campos, who some of you might know. He's now doing big things in Virginia for the governor of Virginia. But he set up the meeting with Mike. And I remember actually calling him on the phone, and I said, Mr. Vaswani, my name is Ruben Kiwen, and I'm looking to run for the state assembly, and I would love to earn your support. And he said, that's great, come to my house. And for me, that meant a lot. Because as you know, when somebody invites you, or when you invite someone to your home, that's your most intimate place. That is your home. He's not saying, let's go have lunch, let's go meet up for coffee at a Starbucks. He said, come to my house and we'll talk. Now, I was a little nervous, to be honest with you, because he was this big, powerful man. And I knew that if he got, if he endorsed my candidacy, it would mean a lot to a lot of people. It would lend support. It would lend credibility to my campaign. And at that time, I was running against an incumbent Democrat from my own party. So I didn't have much support. As you can imagine, my party said, you're crazy. Wait till the guy retires and then you can run. And I said, yeah, well, you're crazy because I'm gonna run and I'm gonna go get community support. So when I went and sat down with Mike, I remember walking into his house and Rita was there and he looked intimidating. I mean, look at this guy. He looks like a god, right? And I walked into his house, I sat down, and it was actually in his kitchen. It was in their kitchen table. And he said, well, I've heard a lot of great things about you, but tell me a little bit about yourself and tell me why you're running for office. And obviously, there I was, giving him my political spiel. And he stopped me, he said, I don't want to hear your political spiel. Tell me about yourself. Who is Ruben Kiwen? And so that's the first moment where I actually had to revise my political spiel. You know how they tell you got to have a 30 second, a 60 second, a 1 minute, a 3 minute. You got to have a 10 minute, even if they give you 10 minutes. Well, that was the time when I said, well, I'm running for the state assembly because I'm going to, champion education, blah, blah, blah. He said, no. He said, tell me about you. And I remember the first thing I said to him, I said, well, I'm the son of immigrants. I was born in Mexico, and I'm looking to become the first immigrant elected to Nevada office, to public office in Nevada. And he said, that's what I wanted to hear. He said, tell me about your family. So, we sat down, talked for about, I want to say like 2 or 3 hours. I was sitting there in his living room, and by the time I left, I felt like I had a brother. Not only did he say, Ruben, I will support your campaign, he took out his checkbook and gave me one of my first political campaign contributions ever. And to this day, I don't forget that. Because that is in those moments when you know who your true friends are. And I've had many of those other moments when I know who my true friends are. And let me tell you, those times when people are with you, when nobody else is with you, when he said, Ruben, I don't care who you're running against. I don't care who your opponent is. I believe in you. I love your story. He said, go out there and share your story with the community. Let them know that you're the son of a housekeeper and the son of a former farm worker. Tell them why you're looking to become the first Latino immigrant elected in Nevada history. And I'll tell you this, August 15th, 2006 came around, and I won that Democratic primary with 61% of the vote. One of the first people that I called to say thank you to was Mike Vaswani. And to this day, I'm still grateful to Mike. It was heartbreaking when I heard of the news, but you don't forget those people in your life. I've gone through a lot, as you all know, it's no secret. I've made it very high. I've had some low points in my career, but I don't give up. I'm an immigrant who came to this country with absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm resilient, I'm strong, and I can get knocked down 10 times, and I'll tell you what, I'm gonna get back up every single time. And I will continue fighting for what's right in this community. Because you know why? I remember that day that Mike reminded me, he said, Ruben, fight for your community. speak the truth to power, share your story, and I will always be there with you. And I'll tell you what, as you all know, I went on, ran for the state senate, got elected with Mike's support, went on to Congress, got elected thanks to Mike's support. He was there every single step of the way. So for me, that is the relationship I had with him. And I'll tell you this, as much as powerful as he was, I know who the real boss in that family was. And so I always knew that I had to call Rita, to try to get them to, show up to one of my events. But Rita, I just want to say thank you to you, Harry as well. You guys have been very supportive. The fact that Mike donated, and gave himself, even when he's no longer physically here, I think speaks volumes of the type of person that he is. And I know that his passion was to help the community, and he's still doing it to this day. And so it's incumbent on us in this room to continue that legacy that he began. And I'll tell you, I will mention Mike's name as much as I can. And I'm very grateful, Rita, that you called me and said, Ruben, can you come and share a few words? So thank you so much. And I will always be grateful to you and your family. So thank you.
Hey, Judge Cynthia Caruso.
So I have to put my arms around Rita because Rita kind of got me also, inherited me. So I started off practicing law and eventually went out and formed my own law firm because that's what we do. And there came to be a point that I was changing up where my office space was. And this gentleman named John Paris was also looking to go out on his own. So we shared office space together. And this is really where Mike Vaswani and Rita Vaswani came into my life. And I want to say this is probably like 2006, 2007. And my relationship with Mike started like this. My phone would ring, I would see it was Mike's number, and I'd answer, hey Mike, what's up, where's John? I'd be like, okay. He was looking for John Paris a lot of times, but it ultimately ended up where, as an attorney, he would call me and be like, I have somebody that needs your help. And we would, and that was the job of being an attorney, that I would help. There came to be a point that I was ready to look at running for office. And just like many of us keep saying, my first stop was a conversation with Mike. And I have been over to their house and I have sat at their table when I was an attorney, and even when I decided to run for judge. Mike was very supportive of my decision to run for judge. Rita and Mike helped me get elected when I ran in 2012. And they stayed with me in all of the years that I've been there. When I was back up, there was text messages and phone calls. I've been to many judges night. I was even at this event. And at this time also, when I reached out to Rita for my re-election campaign, this one, it was very quick as to, come, we're there for you. If you don't have that little heart on your driver's license, go get it. Be like Mike. Be for the community, because that's what it really is, right? Having that heart on your license says, I'm gonna be there for my community beyond my death. That's what it means. Be like Mike. Thank you.
Be like Mike, give like Mike, and donate like Mike. Donate your organs. So that's really the three things. Be like Mike, give like Mike, and donate your organs. Now, I'm just going to call and mention our board members. I want them to stand up. Janice, please come over here. My brother from San Francisco, 5 years ago when Mike started showing dementia, 6, okay, correction, 6. So he noticed that Mike could not be left alone after a few months or something. And I said, well, then we may have to move to San Francisco, where my daughter is, or in Orange County. And he says, no, I'll come and stay. I'll take care of Mike. I'll watch over. And so I could continue my job at Nevada State Bank. Obviously, I can't leave Mike at home. Then as it progressed, then of course Nathan Adelson came in picture towards the last 6-8 months of his life, which they really did a wonderful job. Extraordinary. I mean, talk about service and care and compassion. I know there are too many hospices out there, but you got to know what's the right one for your beloved one at home. So we picked Nathan Adelson. So anyway, I'd like to call on our board members. As I call your name, just stand up, or you can say a few words or come over. Amy Ching, where are you? You are Mike's favorite. Come here.
Miss Dawn Gibbons, former First Lady of Nevada.
Yes. Okay, well, I love this family, okay, and they've been so good to me. And when I was going through a very bad time, I would call your husband, and we would stay on the phone till 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. He was wonderful, and I can tell you the political part. Dick Gibbons would have never won that 2007 if it wasn't for you and your husband. They got everybody together, and it was incredible. So I don't want to talk too much, but anyway. Go ahead. I love him, and he was my best friend.
This is a team which was working with him for many, many years on every activity, every social activity, every community activity. This is a whole beautiful team which was all together every year after year. So now, since Mike is not with us in person, so I'm given that responsibility to carry this legacy of Asian American group along with Dennis and the whole beautiful team. Not only Asian American group, but also Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce. We are out in community, making sure we communicate right messages about importance of organ donation, connecting community after community, talking to the people directly, indirectly, with the media, social media, whatever is possible, we are doing it. Again, everybody says the same message: please register. Organ donation is very important. Before we conclude this, all talks, I'll just share with you a small example which I faced because of Mike. She said she pulled me out of San Francisco. I think so. All of us will get tired. You can take your seats. I said, can you hear the sound? He said, tomorrow morning, if I don't give you a call, my staff will find me in somebody else's house, because I'll be somewhere else because of the tornado. It's only one word. Tomorrow morning, I want you home. One word, which I support with Rupichima when he was yelling at him. So his one word came to me, come home. I said, okay. I packed my luggage and went straight to San Francisco. Because that is my home. I said, I'm here in San Francisco. I said, I told you to be home. And you'll be surprised, I had to catch my another flight to come to Las Vegas. And after that, I never got back. And I stayed with him in all difficult times. And I know it, what we went through when we were there in the nights and the mornings, and when he was knocking the doors of the garage and getting out of the house. No.
Yeah.
That was a very difficult time. And after he's leaving this world, when she gave me the most difficult task to take a decision on donations, on organ donation, oh my goodness, I'm still sweating. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Okay, now I know Mike for many, many years. Definitely a brother. We neighbors, and that's kind of how we met each other. And he would always call me over, and we'd have our late night cocktail. So, but I want to share, and I don't even think I told Rita this. Mike passed away. We were there. Very hard on all of us. But I made a video for Mike for our AAG event. I think you guys came to our event. You saw Mike's video, Give Like Mike. So I put that video together, and my mother wasn't able to make that event. So almost a year ago, as of the 4th, she passed away. But before she passed, she saw Mike's video. She's like, I want to donate. And at that time, I'm like, Mom, it's okay, okay, whatever you want to do, it's fine. Needless to say, I wasn't planning on 2 years later that she passed and she donated. And so because of Mike, she donated. And so that's impacted my life, it's impacted my kids' life, and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to say that Mike keeps on giving. And so I'm asking you guys as well, keep giving. Give like Mike, donate like Mike. Thank you.
You buy a new car, you buy a new house, your brain gets flooded with dopamine and you get that happiness. But dopamine is very short-living, and that happiness goes away and actually it burns you. But when you give to somebody, the chemical that comes to your brain and the chemical that floods your brain is serotonin. And serotonin has a very long life. And the real happiness that you give and you get is from serotonin, and that comes from giving. Any type of giving. And somebody who is gifted with the quality of giving is actually happiness not for himself, but for everyone else. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Samantha, where are you? This is the lady who put the whole thing together. Let's give her credit for this. She's part of the Nevada Donor Network. All of these pictures are credited here by Vicky Vegas, as you know. And I think she's probably working on 400 photos again and interviews, and this will all be on YouTube and Facebook, and she's on top of everything. Social media is her core love of her life. That's all she does. So I would like to call on these two tables first to please proceed.